Aloha, everyone. Welcome back. This is part two for Java for the 13th of September 2023. So, this is special. I'm doing this separate because I like to keep number one, the video short so that you can get on with your day. And I like to get right into the material. But number two, there's some things in here that I want to get out because I think there's some very important things that people need to know to help protect themselves and be a little bit more prepared for what is coming. So we've got some incredible opportunities that are going to be heading our way as well. And I don't want anyone to miss this. And this is hopefully going to be a shareable link. So let's get into it. So I had this story this morning about Syria demanding the US pay for their stolen oil. So the amounts between 2011 and 2023, they're estimating over $115 billion worth. And the reason the military presence is there is not over ISIS, it's over oil. This is an energy war. We're also in the middle of a currency war with the central banks. They are inflating away the value of their currencies, particularly the United States, because they have the world's reserve currency. And this is their main method of exporting inflation to other countries around the world. So they make everybody else buy their stuff with their dollars, but then they print them and then use them however they like. So that way they make everybody else pay for the stuff that they want. So let's go into this. I can't really blame everybody else for getting upset with them. So I think this is beautiful. It's their new stealth nuclear bomber. I don't know about the purpose of it, but it does have quite an intriguing design. So they are kind of stacking for war. We're in a war right now. We're in a couple of wars. We're in a currency war, and we're also in trade wars. We're also in technological wars, and just it's crazy what's happening. But we are going to head more towards the physical war, and so they've got this bomber that's coming out. It's particularly a nuclear bomber, and they're saying that it's going to be ready to enter service by 2027. So why would they spend all this money and get this ready? Well, we know that they do have plans regardless of what they say. So wanted to bring in more the talks between Putin and Kim. So he's gone over to Russia and they're visiting and having direct talks. They're building alliances. They are talking about weapon swaps. And if you want to unite two fighting people, you just give them a common enemy. And so we've got Russia, even we've got China and India. China and India are not doing so well on their border. They've got clashes constantly. However, they're uniting against the United States. And this is proof right here. They're both in the BRICS nations setup. So I wanted to bring up this map to kind of bring it home as far as how much they have grown. So when you look at these maps, not only in resources, but these are rich in oil, minerals, gold mines, resources, but also services, people, human population, food growing areas. And so when you compare these, what's going on, and they are growing, they are expanding, they are including some of the Middle East as far as the BRICS memberships versus the G7. So while they're not a powerhouse at the moment, they are rapidly growing and rapidly coming to an agreement to where they're not going to be using the dollar anymore as a reserve currency. And as you see, we've even got India and China getting along at this point in time. So give them a common enemy and they will unite. So I think the other part that we're going to see, earlier I had mentioned the EMP, electromagnetic pulse bomb. They've got a weapon. And so the target with this is going to be energy and power. They're going to cut off, they're already restricting oil supplies for energy. And they're also kind of looking at attacks on the power grid. So I brought this up because it brings up something people don't think about. They're not going to come in through the front door. They're going to look for weaknesses, just like we have. They're taking a page out of the United States book, and they're looking for weaknesses in some of the smaller components that the system cannot run without. And so we're looking at some of these minor failures could bring down the United States power grid. So just something to prepare for, not to scare you, but just want to make sure that you have some extra batteries, candles, always have a torch available, a couple of them in my backpack, always wherever I'm at, in case the power goes out, you've got light. And then candles, and I've always usually got something to burn as well. I think that's a good idea. So we've got Faraday fabric, and I wanted to bring up a couple of these products to you. So this one is a small pocket. I use it for my cell phone. So it cuts all electromagnetic frequencies. Basically, when I'm traveling places, when you turn off your phone, it's still working. When you have your GPS off, it's still on, it's still sending signal. The only way to block that signal completely is I pop it in my little pocket that has Faraday cloth. So it's basically lined with metal, and I disappear off the grid for as long as I've got it in there. Go to wherever I want to go, whenever I want to use it again. Then I pull my phone out. They've got different sizes for laptops, different devices. They've got all kinds of things in here, backpacks, you name it. So I'm going to put a link to this company below. They've also got some other things I want to go over. 5G is growing. It's another frequency, and we're being bombarded with it. So I brought up this article because it's from the National Library of Medicine. It is not conspiracy. This is actual studies on the adverse effect of 5G on human health. And they go into the details of it. But at any rate, I'm not going to go into that now, but you should protect yourself and your health. And the US government, something else, they're requiring this in all air travel, all of their systems. If you have noticed, airports and flights being grounded because of the FAA, another branch of the government, they're being closed, they're being shut, and the major airlines are all being forced to comply to move to a 5G system. So with these systems being everywhere, we are being constantly bombarded. And if you're familiar with Aaron Brockovich, just about studying with electrical frequencies and how they cause cancer. So with that, I wanted to bring in one other product they have. This is fabric. And yes, you can wear it. They do have garments. This is this silver elastic fabric. I also think it's quite pretty. It's not very comfortable, but if you just use it as an exterior and wear something else as a liner, it's not bad. But if you think there's going to be EMF issues, or solar blasts are also another form, they make beautiful northern lights, but it's not good for the health and knocks out all of your systems. So if you want to protect your systems, just put them in either a Faraday box covered with these cloths, one of these slip screens, or something of the sort. I also recommend getting some, if you have some extra batteries, just put them in like a Sterilite plastic box is what I do, and then cover the entire box. Make sure there's no holes when you store it, but cover entire box with aluminum foil. That also works as Faraday as long as you make sure it's closed. So the last thing I wanted to go through with this is they're really pumping this. New ones, new jabs. And if you haven't had it yet, and even if you have, don't load your body with this stuff. Trust me. Look into it, see what's in here. This particular one is talking about the liquid nanoparticles, but there's so much more in these that is even worse for you, in my opinion. They are reordering your DNA, and they found long time effects that are starting in the liver and other organs, because those are ones that regenerate the most rapidly. And when they do, they are regenerating those cells with that new DNA from the RNA that they're inserting into your cells. So please think twice, do a little research. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me. Please leave, if you have any thoughts on this, I would appreciate comments. You can get in touch with me if you would like to. I try to answer everyone. And if there's anything else you would like to see, you can also email me. So I appreciate you all being here. With that, I'll let you go for now. I want to wish you all a wonderful rest of your day. And until I see you again, my friends, in the morning, stay free.